It's a bright morning in this beautiful Ugandan village called Pade. Okello and his son Tabu woke up jolly and ready to go to the garden to till their land. Being a cold morning, Okello asked his son to go buy him cigarette from the nearest shop. His son hesitated because he was already playing with his peers in the compound. Being a loving father, Okello told his son, "Go and buy me this cigarette and use the change to buy for yourself some sweets." His son Tabu, on hearing that he is supposed to use the change to buy some sweets, quickly abandoned his friends that he was playing with and ran very, very fast to the shop, bought the cigarette and bought the sweets and brought it to his father. And both of them were happy. The father got the cigarette and Okello got the sweets. And they were all happy and laughing. However, this happened every time Okello wanted to send Tabu somewhere. He needed to make sure that Tabu uses the change to buy sweets or biscuits, to the extent that Tabu started demanding the same kind of favors from his mother. And the family lived happily. The child was loved. But wait a minute. Is there anything wrong with the actions that Okello took against his son Tabu? Is there anything wrong with Okello showing his son love? The answer is yes. Why am I saying there's something wrong? Because Okello just instilled into his son, Tabu, the notion, the belief that before you perform a task, you need to figure out how the task you're going to perform benefits you. It is about you first before executing the task. Now, imagine how many parents are doing this to their children in the name of being a loving father, in the name of being a loving mother. Imagine what Tabu and many other children like him would do if they became leaders tomorrow. Would they sign any document without asking for a bribe? If they became doctors, would they treat a patient in a government health facility without asking the patients to pay, much as the treatment is supposed to be free? Will they work for their communities or for themselves? Imagine our young children. Imagine our brothers and sisters in primary schools, secondary schools, campaigning to become class monitors, school prefects, using sweets to entice their fellow pupils, fellow children, to vote them into office of the class monitor, into office of the school prefect. What would they do if they contested for a national position? Wouldn't they be the same people bribing voters to vote them into office? Would such leaders serve the nation if they became president, if they became member of parliament? Would they serve the nation or would they serve their own interest? Corruption is so embedded in our families, dear colleagues. It is so embedded in our bedrooms, our families, our villages, and our communities to the extent that we're almost accepting it as normal. The fight against corruption cannot be won by anti-corruption agencies alone. It's a fight that requires all of us to join if we are to stand a chance against corruption. Imagine a community that is empowered to demand accountability from their leaders. Imagine a community that is able to monitor their community projects to ensure that it is implemented according to plan. Imagine a community that is not afraid to speak truth to power. This is the community that we need in Uganda. This is the community that we need in Africa. How I wish we could have the resources to train, to empower our community, to hold their leaders accountable. How I pray for such a time when I can sit back and say, yes, the community has taken up arms against corrupt leaders. This is my wish for this lovely continent, Africa, that we call home. Let us arise and join the fight against corruption because it affects all of us, directly or indirectly. Let us make a commitment as young African leaders to rid Africa of corruption because it's an evil that all of us, irrespective of our capacities, must confront. It is a fight that we cannot afford to lose. Because if we lose this fight, then we're losing our future. Thank you so much for listening to me. My name is Comboni Oyet. I'm a senior fraud and corruption investigator working with the Inspectorate of Government of Uganda for God and my country.